I feel like this past season is just one of the coolest things, something I'm so, so proud of, and proud of my entire team. Everybody who's worked with me since the beginning, and especially now, for making that a possibility. You have to look ahead and just prepare. I'm not trying to measure myself to what I was able to accomplish last year, because every season's different and the other competitors are different too. Never a guaranteed win. So I'm always thinking like I have to be better because somebody out there is.
The end of summer finds Mikaela Shriffin preparing hard for a new World Cup campaign that glimmers on the horizon.
If you're presuming that you're gonna win, if you're assuming that, if you have the expectation to win, then you're sort of undervaluing everybody else in the field. And I feel like that's the most dangerous thing. When you expect less of your competition or something, that's when they come back and totally crush you.
Last season, perseverance paid dividends as she earned the first Giant Slalom Globe of her career.
My dreams as a little girl, the big ambition inside of me sort of coming to fruition, and that was really, really cool. It was definitely something we celebrated.
Mikaela Shriffin has dominated World Cup slalom since 2013, winning 40 races and capturing the season title globe in that discipline 6 times. Though still only 24, her giant slalom has been a slower ascent. Heading into last season, she had achieved moments of greatness, with 6 World Cup victories spread out over 7 years on tour, as well as earning an Olympic gold medal in 2018. But her longtime goal of earning a season title globe in giant slalom was still unfulfilled.
Come on, Mikaela! Step on the gas to the finish line, and she won't do it. Into 5th place right now, not the run that Shriffin was looking for.
For me, it's been the hardest event to get my confidence and to get consistent with, and it's incredibly competitive with a girls' GS.
One of my big goals this season is to win the GS Globe, and it's important to me because there's so many girls who can do it. Top 7, top 15 really is stacked with girls who can win not only races, but also the Globe.
For years, Mikaela has tirelessly perfected her GS turns along the way.
I've been focusing a lot on my GS, really trying to make sure that every single gate I'm really disciplined.
It just looks like you have way more comfort, like building pressure at the top of the arc.
I'm in my comfort zone when I'm able to train, when I'm able to work on my skiing. When you're racing, you get 2 runs, and when you're training, you can get like 8 to 20 runs.
When Mikaela does ski her fastest GS, it is the fastest in the world. That's been a challenge to do, but she is definitely getting better and better at that. We saw it at the Olympics, and I'm sure we're going to see it again.
Blow the roof off of this from the United States of America, Mikaela Shriffin!
Last November, Mikaela returned to Killington for the 3rd time to compete in the only women's World Cup races of the season to be held on American soil. It was a homecoming because she attended middle school and high school in Vermont.
I always wanted to be the very best I could be. I had dreams since I was a little girl to be the best in the world, but I didn't really know what that meant at the time. I just was like, well, this sounds good. Then I went to Burke Academy, started working with Kirk Dwyer, and he was such a good fit for me to continue building my fundamentals.
We had a surface pommel lift, and you could easily get over 1,000 gates a day. We talked all the time about every day being precious, every run precious, every turn precious. Her skiing is a work of art that she's always trying to improve upon.
With her unprecedented success at an early age, Shriffin has been the face of American ski racing for many years. With Mikaela's help, ski racing has become more popular in America, and she's embraced her opportunity to serve as a role model.
One of the biggest compliments is kids coming up to me and saying, "You're inspiring me to do sports." And it doesn't even have to be skiing. But honestly, if somebody wants to click on a pair of skis and learn how to ski, I'm all for that. And especially being a woman in sports, in order to kind of take women's sports to a new level, you have to highlight it. And I'm so proud to be one of the women who are helping to highlight it. One of the coolest things is when a young boy comes up to me and says, "You're my favorite skier, I want to ski like you." This change that we're looking for is actually happening.
You're also #1 in prize money for both women and men on the tour. Top earner. Does that feel good?
That's something that's actually something I'm super excited about. There is no gender pay gap in ski racing, and that is really cool.
In Killington, Mikaela was a two-time defending champion in slalom. But in Giant Slalom, she finished 5th in 2016 and was runner-up in 2017. Last season, she was looking to take the top spot and support her quest for the GS title.
I love racing in front of a hometown crowd. I love racing in my home country. And then, of course, Killington brings in the biggest crowds we have in the World Cup. That makes it so much easier to put on a show and have some fun with it.
Hopefully, I'm looking more at the course than the crowd. But they carry me down the mountain, so I'm hoping that everybody cheers really loud.
And here is Shriffin, 44 total World Cup wins, 33 of them coming in the slalom, just 6 in this giant slalom discipline, so this is still a question mark for her. Down goes Shriffin to try to pull off a win. How hard is it for a slalom skier to really press the aggressive speed?
Mikaela Shriffin, a product of repetition, not about excessive risk. And right now, you're seeing great precision.
Most of the 20,000 gathered at the bottom of the hill have waited for this skier, Mikaela Shriffin, to come down. And in the final few gates, to the roar of the crowd, Shriffin across by 3/10 over Holdner.
Mikaela had a strong second run, but 3 of the 4 skiers that followed her were able to best her time. And Shriffin finished in 4th place, a fraction of a second off the podium.
There's always going to be something that goes wrong or some variable you can't control. But I just believe if I absolutely put in this work and all of the pieces that I need to be in place are in place, if I can do my very best on every given day, then I feel like at this point I'm always a contender to win the race.
3 weeks after Killington, perseverance paid off for Mikaela as she won the Giant Slalom race in Courchevel, France, and then followed it up in January with a breakthrough performance in Kronplatz, Italy.
Yesterday's race was awesome. I don't think I've ever skied like that in a GS race. It was the first time I felt relaxed enough to let the skiing that I was doing in training come out, and it was such a cool feeling.
In February, in a rare occurrence, Mikaela finished in a tie for first, sharing the top step of the podium with Petra Vlhova of Slovakia. These 2 rivals headed into World Cup finals in March as the sole remaining contenders for the Giant Slalom Globe.
I know that Petra's been really strong in GS, and it's been really fun to kind of battle it out with her. And
Every season so far, I've sort of flopped at the end of the GS, had a mediocre performance.
GS title has been a target for Mikaela for years now. I've been trying to chase it down, and today it's going to be that consistent approach that we've had all year, skiing with power and intensity all the way down both runs, and we'll see where we end up.
In the first run, Mikaela was the 5th racer to start.
Today, it wasn't locked in, but I wanted to ski as if it was locked in. Ski really aggressive to really finish the season on a strong note, to really, really earn it and prove to myself that it's something that I deserve to have.
Mikaela charged into the lead, overtaking Vlhova by nearly 1 second. In the second run, Mikaela was the final racer to start, and so the race was hers to win or lose.
My second run was feeling really, really good, and I went down on my hip, and I was thinking I lost it, but that's part of the fight. I'm really proud of that.
Mikaela was able to recover in stride, but the mistake cost her 0.7 of a second. Shriffin skied with determination toward the finish and held on for the win. It was the 4th victory in Giant Slalom for her season and an exclamation point on a breakthrough year.
Truthfully, to see her come out and win today after the season that she's had, to be able to really keep on the offensive, on the gas pedal, and perform like this is amazing. I know it's a huge, huge goal for her, and now she's reached it.
This season has been a huge, huge breakthrough for me, and I'm really proud of this GS Globe. I've been dreaming about it for a really long time. There have been a lot of moments in the past 8 years where I thought maybe I would never be able to achieve this goal.
The great champion displayed her collection of accomplishments, but the focus of her and the U.S. ski team coaches were already fixed upon the future.
I think one thing that does help keep perspective is seeing someone like Alice Robinson come down into second with 2 runs of amazing skiing, feeling like next season has started. There's always a new reason to be motivated.